No one ever created something great by doing what was easy. You know, the people that we look up to, the people that have really changed the world, they were the pioneers. They were the ones that were doing something different. I believe that if you're on my channel, you are a pioneer. You're bringing in this awakening to the earth. And I think there's going to be a new wave of awakening coming very soon. Your answer to this one question will determine the future you are able to create. Your answer to this question will determine your future. And that question is, are you interested or are you committed? Are you interested in what you're doing or what you want to achieve, or are you committed to achieving it? This was inspired by a video by Aaron Doughty featuring John Assaraf or John Assaraf. Not sure how to say it, but I think he was in The Secret, and he had this mentor that asked him that question and told him that his answer to that question would determine the future he's able to create. Is he interested or is he committed? And this means that if you're interested, you will kind of halfway do things. You'll kind of do it when it's convenient, do it when you want to, you know, kind of be very inconsistent and just kind of do what you feel in the moment. And I'm not saying doing what you feel in the moment is bad, but I'm saying you'll kind of just be lazy about it. You won't really have that same passion as if you're committed to achieving it. If you're committed to achieving it, you'll do it when it's inconvenient, when you don't feel like doing it, when sometimes the circumstances might not be perfect, because it's never going to be the perfect time to do some things. You might have to do some things that you don't necessarily want to do that will lead you to where you want to be. Even when you're following your passion and doing what you love, there's certain things that are sometimes inconvenient to do. I'm making this video with like barely any sleep. Like I didn't sleep much, and I just made another video before making this video. I'm making 2 videos on barely any sleep, and sleep is very important. I want to preface this because people were getting mad at me last time when I said I hadn't slept much. I know sleep is very important for manifestation and other things, but I got some videos that I got to get out, and I have plenty of energy, so don't worry about me. I'm going to be just fine. But that's just an example of, like, if you're committed to achieving something, you're going to do it, you know, no matter what. No matter what gets in your way, no matter what roadblocks you have come up, because there will be some. Life isn't perfect. You're going to have plenty of things that happen to you that you're like, oh my God, how am I ever going to get through this one? And, you know, as you know, if you've been through a spiritual awakening, there's always something, especially at the beginning. But I had been very inconsistent early on in videos that I was making, and I recently made a video saying I will never take this for granted again, which kind of shows my new mindset on things, that I'm gonna just not take this for granted anymore. I'm just gonna do things that I'm passionate about and make videos that I'm passionate about, no matter how I feel, no matter, you know, maybe if I feel absolutely awful and the video's not going to be good, then I won't do it. But if I just have these little things holding me back, I'm going to push through that fear. The only way to overcome the fear is to run through it. You know, you run through the storm and then you can overcome it. When the storm's coming over you, you can either let it pass or you can run through it. If you run from it, it's going to keep following you. So don't run from it, run through it and be committed. It's a simple thing to say, oh yeah, well, I am committed. I'm going to do it now. But those times when you don't want to do it, those times when it's been a hard day and you know that doing this thing would help you out, but you don't want to do it, remember, are you interested or are you committed? Because the more times you do that, you're going to build confidence within yourself. You're going to start to believe that you can do things that you put your mind to. You can do difficult things, and that will raise your self-esteem. That'll change your identity to someone who can do things when they don't seem that easy. And then it'll become easier for you to do more things that aren't so easy, because no one ever created something great by doing what was easy. You know, the people that we look up to, the people that have really changed the world, they were the pioneers. They were the ones that were doing something different. I believe that if you're on my channel, you are a pioneer. You're bringing in this awakening to the earth. And I think there's going to be a new wave of awakening coming very soon. And I was part of kind of the last big wave of awakening that happened to me at the end of 2019, but also early 2020. So many more people awakened, and I sense that there's a new one coming. There's a new wave. And, you know, all of us, whether you just awakened a week ago, you are definitely on the leading edge of this consciousness shift on the planet as we're moving into fourth density, as we're moving to 5D, or 5D consciousness on the planet, where, you know, it's more of a heart-based center of consciousness. And we're bringing in this new earth. The 3 waves of volunteers, my most popular video, in which I didn't even know as much as I do now about that stuff. I mean, I was so new to everything, but that video popped off. But everything is happening for a reason. And if you want to be someone that is a leader, that is going to change this world, you have to be committed. And this is a message to myself, because I wasn't as committed as I should have been, but I had to go through a lot of things, and being interested showed me that I need to be committed, because it was actually more painful to just be interested than it is for me to be committed. Because now that I'm committed, I feel a lot better. I feel like I'm building momentum. I'm churning up this energy, this ball of energy that I'm going to send to my manifestations. I'm going to send out to the world, and I'm going to inspire people and do what I came here to do. You know, think about all the people that you could be impacting while you're sitting there just being interested in helping them, just fantasizing about it instead of doing it. Think of all those people, how their lives could be changed just by one simple thing that you say. It's crazy, but you can create a ripple effect. You will change that person's life, which can then change millions of other people's lives. You never know who's going to see what you have to say. You never know who you're going to meet that will become someone someday that can share a story that you told them that changed their life. You know, we're all in this together. We're all inspiring each other. The people that inspired me, they might not even know who I am, but they said something, or they did things that made me want to go do things. And you can inspire so many people who you don't even know. Think about, you know, what you would do if you knew you only had a week to live. If you knew you didn't have much time here, you'd probably start being committed. You'd probably start doing things to live life to the fullest right now. You know, we don't have as much time as we tend to think. You know, life is short. It also seems long. Time is an illusion, but you get the point. It's like things can go by so fast, and it's like you don't want to look back with regrets at the end of your life. You don't want to be on your deathbed with the most common regret that most people have, which is not living their life on their own terms, not being the person that they could have been because they were so worried about pleasing everybody else. Something like that is actually the most common thing that people say on their deathbeds is their biggest regret, because someone did a study about it. I can't remember who did it, but if you look up like deathbed studies of, you know, what people's biggest regret is, I guess, I don't know, you might be able to find it, where most people regret the things that they didn't do, not the things they did. And not only that, but they regret not going for it. They regret not committing because of whatever it was. Mostly social conditioning and society pressure of trying to fit in or trying to do things because they feel like it's not going to work out, or whatever it was that held them back. They wish they would have done it, because then in that moment they realized they could have done it had they been committed to doing it instead of interested. So if you're committed, click the link in the description and the pinned comment to listen to my free guided meditation that I've just recently created, and I think you'll enjoy it. I think it'll help you, transform your subconscious beliefs, connect to your higher self, and receive some guidance, receive some healing, because you are always connected to the universe. It's within you. Sometimes we can just kind of lose sight of that. So hopefully that meditation will allow you to regain some clarity, regain some inspiration, and motivate you a little bit to be committed. And I hope this video motivates you to be committed, because I love you guys and I want you to follow your passion like I'm doing, because it's very scary. It's very scary to take that first step, but it's always worth it. It really is always worth it. It's scary, but it's worth it. And once you start doing it, it won't be as scary anymore. So be committed, not just interested. I love you all. Universal crystals, forever.